Welcome to Sri Digambar Institute of Technology, Dosa. I am Sadanand Parashar from Civil Engineering Department. Subject Design of Concrete Structure. Lecture number 10 and topic name Assumptions of Limit State Design. For any construction purpose, first we need to make a plan and estimate for the design of structural member. There are several methods used such as working stress method, ultimate limit state method and limit state method. Working stress method is a traditional method, while the limit state method is modern. As we know that there is no material which is pure and completely homogeneous in the world. So, in order to overcome his fact, we need to make some assumptions in limit state method in our design procedure. So, assumptions in limit state of collapse in flexure. Reference clause 38 Indian Standard 456 2000. The design of reinforced concrete sections for limit state of collapse in bending is based on the following assumptions. The first assumptions in limit state is plane section normal to the axis remain plane after bending. It means that the strain at any point in the cross section is proportional to the distance from the neutral axis. Plane section normal to the axis remain plane even after bending. It means the strain distribution across the depth of the cross section is linear. The maximum strain in concrete at the outermost compression fiber is taken as 0.0035 in bending. The relationship between the stress strain distribution in concrete is assumed to be parabolic as shown in figure. This is the stress strain diagram. In this is for concrete, for compression fiber. In this, first uppermost, this is the shape of parabolic, and here characteristic strength is FCK. This is the idealized curve for concrete in cube. After we applied factor of safety, then this curve show idealized curve for concrete to structure. This is after applied factor of safety, then FCK convert in 0.67 FCK. And after these we can use in design, then the curve, design curve. We also applied factor of safety, then 0.667 FCK divided by 1.5, because we use 1.5 as factor of safety for concrete in design. Then the characteristic strength is 0.446 FCK. This is at 0.0035, and the curve is parabolic up to 0.002 strength. After this strength, the curve is parallel. For design purpose, the compressive strength of concrete is assumed to be parabolic, as shown in figure. For design purpose, the compressive strength of concrete is assumed to be 0.67 times the characteristic strength of concrete. The partial safety factor equal to 1.5 shall be applied. Maximum compressive stress in concrete equal to 0.67 FCK divided by 1.5, where FCK equal to characteristic strength of concrete. The tensile strength of concrete is ignored because here we discuss about in compression. The stress in the reinforcement are taken from the stress strain curve for the type of steel used as shown in figure. This is the stress strain diagram for steel. In this, stress denoted by Fy. Here from upper side, Fy is the yield strength, and in characteristic curve, but when we use in design curve, in this the yield strength is divided by factor of safety. We can previous discuss about that factor of safety for steel is 1.15 in design. Then we use factor of safety as 1.15. So the yield strength is Fy divided by 1.15 equal to 0.87 Fy. Tension side. For design purposes, the partial factor of safety to 1.15 shall be applied. The maximum strain in the tension reinforcement in the section at failure shall not be less than Fy divided by 1.15 ES plus 0.002, where Fy equal to characteristic strength of steel and ES modulus of elasticity of steel. For understand these assumptions, we can see this diagram. In this diagram, B is the width of the beam and D is the effective depth. Also here capital D, which is overall depth. Overall depth is the effective depth plus effective cover. Here AST is the area of steel. These are the 4 bars here. After that, this is the strain diagram. Here uppermost, this is the dotted portion is the neutral axis. Above the neutral axis, this is the compression side, and below the neutral axis, this is tension side. Compression side, x1 plus x2 is the x. This is the depth of neutral axis from compression fiber. Compression fiber side, this is the maximum value 0.0035 and 0.002. This is the value at x1 depth of neutral axis. And tension side, maximum value 0.87 Fy divided by ES plus 0.002. After this, next is stress diagram. In stress diagram, this diagram show that some portion is parabolic and some portion is rectangular. From neutral axis to x1 depth, this is parabolic, and after x1 this is rectangular. Compression side, maximum value 0.006 FCK. This is discuss about this is discuss about in previous slides, like factor of safety we can use, then FCK divided by factor of safety, then this value, then we get this value 0.446 FCK. And Z, here Z is the depth of lever arm, which is from centroid to the tension side. And tension side maximum value 0.87 Fy. So these are the assumptions we can use when we use limit state method. The first assumptions in limit state is plane section normal to the axis remain plane even after bending. It means the strain distribution across the depth of the cross section is linear. Second, at limiting state, the maximum strain in concrete which occurs at outermost compression fiber 0.0035. The stress strain curve for concrete is having parabolic shape up to 0.002 strain, and the constant up to limit state of 0.0035. However, Indian standard code does not prevent using other shapes like rectangular and trapezoidal. The tensile strength of concrete is ignored. Next, the stress in reinforcement is derived from the representative stress strain curve for the type of steel used. For design purpose, a partial safety factor of 1.15 is used. Hence, maximum stress in steel is obtained Fy divided by 1.15 equal to 0.87 Fy. Next, the maximum strain in steel at failure shall not be less than Fy divided by 1.15 Es, modulus of elasticity, plus 0.002. Limit state design, also known as load and resistance factor design, refers to a design method used in structural engineering. A limit state is a condition of a structure beyond which it no longer fulfills the relevant design criteria. The condition may refer to a degree of loading or other actions on the structure, while the criteria refer to structure integrity, fitness for use, durability, or other design requirements. A structure designed by limit state method or limit state design is proposed to sustain all actions like to occur during its design life and to remain fit for use with an appropriate level of reliability for each limit state. Building codes based on limit state design define the appropriate level of reliability by their prescriptions. The method of limit state design developed in the USSR and based on research led by Streletsky limit state design requires the structure to satisfy two principal criteria: the ultimate limit state and the serviceability limit state. Any design process involved a number of assumptions. The loads to which a structure will be subjected must be estimated. Size of members to check must be chosen and design criteria must be selected. All engineering design criteria have a common goal, that of ensuring a safe structure and ensuring the functionality of the structure. A clear distinction is made between the ultimate state and the ultimate limit state. The ultimate state is a physical situation that involves either excessive deformation leading and approaching collapse of the component under consideration, or the structure as a whole as relevant, or deformation exceeding pre-agreed values. It involves considerable plastic behavior of the structure scheme and residual deformations, whereas the ultimate limit state is not a physical situation but rather an agreed computational condition that must be fulfilled among other additional criteria in order to comply with the engineering demands for strength and stability under design loads. A structure is deemed to satisfy that must be fulfilled among other additional criteria. The ultimate state criteria, if all factor bending, shear are below the factored resistances calculated for the section under consideration. The factored stresses referred to are found by applying magnification factors to the loads on the section. Reduction factors are applied to determine the various factored resistances of the section. The limit state criteria can also be set in terms of load rather than stress. Using this approach, the structural element being analyzed is shown to be safe when the magnified loads are less than the relevant reduced resistances. The serviceability limit state is limit state of deflection, limit state of cracking, limit state of vibration. The load and resistance factors are determined using statics and a pre-selected probability of failure. Variability in the quality of construction, consistency of the construction material are accounted for in the factors. In determining the specific magnitude of the factors, more deterministic loads like dead load, self weight of the structure, and permanent attachment like walls, floors, ceiling, finishes are given lower factor than highly variable loads like earthquake, wind, or live load. Impact load are typically given higher factors still in order to account for both their unpredictable magnitudes and the dynamic nature of the loadings versus the static nature of the most models. In practical terms, this normally results in a more efficient structure, and such as it can be argued that limit state design is superior from a practical engineering viewpoint. Thank you.